Welcome to the Motordrome, from the oval track to garages and everywhere in between. Thanks to our sponsors, Competition Distributing and Redline Oil.
Sean here, back at you with another episode of one of our racers for the Motordrome. And just to remind everybody, the Motordrome's coming up September 26th, 2026 at the Lake Erie Speedway in Erie, Pennsylvania. Tickets are finally on sale, so if you guys haven't grabbed a ticket yet, you can head over to our website, motordromerace.com. We have VIP tickets and we have regular tickets. VIPs get you into the center of the track before the race. You can meet the racers, see the bikes, check out the pits, and you also get access to premium Turn 4 seating. So those are limited. The regular general admission are not limited. So if you guys are interested in the VIPs, I recommend getting them sooner rather than later. We'll also be doing some giveaways on those later on this year to give some people opportunities to win them. So, but back to it, we got another racer with us here today. His name is Nathan Grubb, Old Soul. He's a very good dude, a good friend of mine, and want to welcome him to the podcast. So, what's going on, Nathan?
Hey, Sean, not much. How you doing? Thanks for having me, buddy.
Oh, no problem, man. Thanks for joining us on this lovely evening. What are you up to today?
Just got done with work. I'm a dock builder down here in Florida, so already hitting the 90-degree temperatures and enjoying the sunshine.
That's crazy. Yeah. So you're down in Florida. What got you into motorcycles, Nathan?
Actually, I got into motorcycles from a young age. I was a kid, and we couldn't afford anything. We were so poor, and my neighbor had a mini bike sitting by the trash can. So I went over and grabbed the mini bike, took it back to the shop, and stole one of my grandpa's side shaft Briggs and Strattons and threw on it. And man, I just fell in love with it, and that's what started it.
Okay. So was this all in Florida? Are you originally from there, or is this did you move or anything like that?
No, I'm from Indiana. I'm originally from Evansville, Indiana. So
okay. I didn't know that.
All this happened in the Midwest, surrounded by the cool old, Davenport area, Wasion, all the Midwest. It's rich in history of motorcycles.
Yeah. So you grew up in the epicenter, pretty much, of everything that's good out there. I mean, there's a lot of honey holes out in the Midwest. I know Tom's got some of his best bikes from the Midwest. And we're always seeing cool stuff out there. Davenport's an awesome one. That's like one of my favorite swap meets there is. Davenport and Wasion. Those are both really good ones. But
they're incredible.
Yeah. So you just were at Gas City too, weren't you?
I was. I went up to support them in the AMAC meet. I actually picked up. I'm going to be competing with you, buddy. I picked up a BAF. Single. From my understanding, my research from it, they made 506 of them, and then I picked one up, and they exported them overseas to race.
Yeah, so you were messaging me when you were looking at that bike, and I actually had to do a little more research on my end as well, because I had never heard of a BAF, and the thing is crazy about the single cylinder. So there are so many variants of the single cylinder, the overhead valve, the flathead, especially when you got into the later 20s like that. Like 26 was the first year, obviously, for that, the pea shooter, so to speak, and then all the way up into the early 30s. So there's a lot of variations there, a lot of, you got your CAs, your SAs, your S models. Now we know about the BAF. I didn't even know that was a thing until you just found that bike, which actually I think looks super nice. You got to be pretty stoked about that.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited. It had a lot with it, and there was enough to make just a single rider road bike as well. So absolutely, it's a good find.
That's awesome. Yeah. So is that what you're going to do? Is you're going to take that extra equipment and put it into another one, or are you going to build another racer, or not really sure yet?
I'm not sure. I really want to see the single class grow. To me, that's kind of a passion. Being the top of the back of the pack, I like to see something else grow.
Yeah.
And so the single class, seeing you and Jason Brooks, out there on the singles. It struck a fire with me. And Randy Detroit as well, and I know he's working on one. And so I'm just putting all my efforts into building a single now.
That's awesome. Yeah, like the singles are, hold a special place for us too. Obviously the first time we ever got into Sons of Speed, when Tom and I went down there years ago, I remember we went down, and I can't remember if I met you then. I think I met you like a year or two after that, but we were new. We came in fresh off of a cross country race, and Tom calls me and goes, "Hey, let's go down and check out the Sons of Speed thing, see what it's all about." And I remember going down there, and we were watching the bikes go, and as soon as I'll never forget, as soon as we got there, we looked at each other and we're like, "Oh, we're doing this," and the rest
Right.
is kind of, they say history, but our first introduction to it was the singles. Tom came in on Fast Betsy. Bill Page, one of our very, very good friends, one of my mentors, he built a bike for us. I think it was something crazy. It was like 20 days or something like that. Him and Tom had, devised this plan. And Tom came in and ran Fast Betsy in the single class, against a couple other guys there, and he ended up winning. And it was like that was the hook, line, sinker, and we've been on it ever since. So the singles obviously make a big deal for us.
It's so exciting. I've been going to Sons of Speed, I think, since the second one.
Okay.
And then I've been going to Davenport and Wauseon and just seeing all of these board trackers. I mean, it was a passion for me. I couldn't afford a board tracker when I first started, so I just hopped up to a 45. And then since then, I have bought a board tracker. But it was an incredible experience starting on those, which ignited a passion for the singles, because there's something special about a single out there. I can't explain it. That the sound of a single, the ride, it's just, I did get to ride Jason Brooks, and that was an incredible ride. And once I did that, I was hooked.
Yeah, that thing's a beast too. That big JAP single, that thing's a monster.
It is fast.
So what got you into racing? Like, so you've been in motorcycles for, from an early age, but like what's your first experience of racing, and what made you say, "Hey, I'm going to do this. I want to try this out"?
So as a kid, I did ride motocross. I raced a little motocross. And then whenever I started going to the 4-H fairs, I would see that. And then I just started to got tired of watching. I didn't want to watch these guys out there doing it. I knew I'd be the slowest guy in the field. As I said during the Transamerica, I might come in last, but I guarantee I'll have the biggest smile on my face, and that's kind of the way it was. I was the first one out, and I'm usually the last one around the track. But just the passion of old motorcycles, doing what they did and bringing it back to life. And I never really got excited about the newer racing. It just never really sparked an interest. I like to watch it. Once I started doing that, and then I joined AHRMA, started doing vintage road racing, it just kind of struck a chord.
Gotcha. So how long would you say you've been doing that? Like, how many years? Like, before you started getting into the Suns? Like, when was your first, from the time you first started, the AHRMA stuff and then to Sons of Speed, like, is there a big gap there? Or?
About 2020.
Okay.
I raced, I think, I don't know if I raced 1 or 2 years. And then I built my 45. And that's when I kind of really got into the heat of it. I think it was my second year running a brakeless class. I wrecked pretty bad in Florida, and it put me in the hospital for quite a while. And just to realize the brotherhood, the friendships that I made through that, I was nobody. And the calls, the people that reached out to me, and the love I got from it. I never thought I would race again. So I actually bought a Model A. I was going to run Trog. I was giving up racing because I didn't know. I mean, I ripped my foot. I know you know about the story, but I ripped my foot pretty bad, broke all the bones of my foot, and my tibia, my fibula, and was in the hospital. I had multiple surgeries. I didn't think I'd be able to race again. So I bought a Model A for the Trog, and then it just wasn't the same. So I went ahead and went back at it, and the rest is history.
Yeah, I couldn't keep you away. I remember when you did that to your foot. That was pretty crazy because I think if I remember right now, it's been a while ago, but you had to like wait for a while, right? Like you couldn't just get out. You were like kind of stuck in the center of the track because there was a race going on, weren't you?
So I hit the wall the last lap of the race, and I hit it in turn 4, and I made it. I didn't go down. I actually hit the wall. I am the only guy that got the coolest photo from Michael Lichter, and it's not because I was a motorcycle builder. It's because my foot was turned around backwards, facing the start-finish line, and my foot was facing turn 4, and Michael had to be right there at this spot, and I have a picture that he took, and my foot's facing backwards, and the adrenaline, the excitement, everything was just so much. I didn't even realize how bad I was hurt. And so I came around the track. I looked down, and I knew when I looked down that I was hurt. And then when I came around the track, I realized that I wasn't standing up, and I did make it back to pit row. Once I got back to pit row, all my guys, they grabbed the bike and helped me off. The EMT came over. First thing he wanted to do was cut my leathers off. The first thing I wanted to do is see if I won or lost the race. They say I lost. I still think I won, but that's for them to decide. Then they had to get me all punctured up and bundled up, and they took me to the emergency room.
Jeez, man, that's crazy. I remember, because like I didn't know you super well then, but I remember when that whole thing unfolded, and it was like, that was crazy. I remember your foot being in the wrong direction, and everybody was talking about it. It's pretty crazy.
It was pretty intense. It was pretty intense.
Talk about dedication. So you turn your foot around the wrong direction, you get all messed up, you go get a Model A, and now you're back racing again. But you actually had another accident, right? Like you didn't. It was not that long ago, because I remember I talked to you when you were in the hospital. But you weren't racing Sons of Speed. You were doing like a road course or something, weren't you?
Yeah, I've been down twice racing now. That the foot was the first one. The second one, I was racing AHRMA, and I was in Barber Motor Speedway.
That's right.
First time on the track, first lap. I can't explain it. Don't know what happened, but apparently I took off like some of the Dunlops and decided to twist the throttle as hard as I could. And in Museum Corner, I went down, and I don't remember. I was out for a while. I don't remember 4 days. I broke everything in my shoulder. I broke my spine. I had it was a messed up. So I was in the hospital for that. That was back in October, but we're good to go. And
that's what, that's why I just wanted to bring it up, because it's like, it just shows people, and you're not the only one. A lot of these guys have gone down, especially in racing. They don't say, if, it's a matter of when, especially depending on how long you've been doing it. Even, the best of the best go down all the time. And it's like, it just shows people, this is a really super dangerous sport. And especially when you're racing these old bikes that don't have any brakes, and you're going, 70, 80 miles an hour on a banked oval.
It truly is. It's extremely sketchy to be on a bike. I mean, I've been there. I saw Tom. I was there at the track when Tom hit the wall. I saw the tire fly up, and I saw Josh Owens hit. In fact, when Josh Owens hit the wall, I was sitting in the pits behind the wall. His GoPro flew off the wall and hit me in the chest. Yeah. It was that hard of an impact. It's no joke. I mean, people that watch the races, they see that it's a legitimate, serious form of racing. It may not be Isle of Man fast, but it's fast, and it is a dangerous impact sport for sure.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's no joke. It's obviously we all go out there to have a good time, and we go around the track and have a bunch of fun with our buddies, and and race. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, you have to be careful, and, you know, accidents do happen, and it gets pretty crazy out there. But you know, so what are you going to be bringing to our race up here in September?
So
Other than your singer.
I'm actually planning on racing 4 classes. I'm going to bring my 61, my board tracker.
Okay.
I'm going to be bringing my hot 45. I'm going to bring my stock 45. And then I'm going to bring my pea shooter. Hopefully we get that all together. And my goal is to bring my pea shooter. So have 4 bikes in the running.
That's pretty cool. You're gonna be like Mike Lang status. You're gonna have a bike for every single heat.
Well, I have a bike in it. I actually spoke to my buddy the other day. He doesn't have a ride. Actually, Rusty. I think.
Oh, okay.
You know Rusty. So I'd love to see him out there. Love to see him riding. And it's more about the sport. We want as many bikes as we can out there, right? And
exactly.
I don't want to be exhausted. I know what it's like to run back to back, and I don't really want to be exhausted. So if I can have a horse in the pony in the race and still enjoy the race, that's what I want.
That's awesome. So you're gonna put Rusty on one of your bikes, you're saying?
I might. We talked about the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, Rusty's a heck of a racer, man. He raced I think for us, it was either once or twice he raced for us, and he's a heck of a rider. He can really show some serious skill out there. So that'd be awesome to have him up there.
And that 45 is a fast bike. So I'm not the fastest rider, so I want someone fast on the bike to represent what the bike can do. And so since someone else stole eBay Jake, I can't have him ride it. So now I have to have someone else ride it for me.
Yeah. eBay is going to be on Tom's Hot 45, and then on my Hot 61, actually. So that'll be cool. But again, like you said, it's like I don't have the capabilities that those guys have, Rusty or eBay or a lot of the guys. You know, so the way we look at it, it's kind of like put the more capable rider on the more capable bike and actually see what they can do and make a good show for the crowd too, because it's a lot more entertaining to watch eBay, Rusty, Mike Lang, all those guys go around the track on a super hot bike and, you know, touch handlebars and go crazy than it is, you know, some of us. So
absolutely, us good-looking guys, we have to be on the slower bikes for the picture so they take well. The fast guys, you know, they can get on those fast bikes because, you know, they're blurry anyhow.
Yeah, you don't want to see their face. They're not really that great looking. You just gotta let them rip, you know.
100%.
They'll forgive me for that, I think. But no, but so that's cool. You're going to be bringing a bunch of bikes. Your board track bike. So is your board track bike ready to go? Did you have Bruce freshen up the motor and stuff on that, or what's the status on that one?
Yeah, the board track bike has been through. I blew it up 2 years, maybe 2 years ago. I think I blew it up. Bruce went through. He put some loving into it, and it's ready to go. I raced it in March, and it's all there. That bike is fast. I'm ready to compete on that bike. That's really nice. It's way faster than I am, but it'll be a good bike. I won't get lapped in it. That's what I want. So, I'll put on a good show at least. But I'll stay out of the way of the fast boys so that they could pass me in safely.
Yeah, that's a really cool bike. I remember when you got that one. You got like tapered fin Ricardos and stuff on that too, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, that's sweet.
The bike is built just like Nick Hunter's. So
okay.
Again, if I was a fast rider, it would be a bike of contention. But being that I'm just me, I just look good.
You look good. The bike looks good. It's all good, man. It's all good.
Great for photos.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Stay slow enough so the cameras don't have too much blur when they're taking your picture.
It's like the one picture in the Transamerica of me going. It's basically me riding the loser cruiser into Wheels Through Time. I'm riding my bike on the back of the trailer, and that's the one picture I remember seeing of me. I'm like, Okay, it works.
Hey, there was some good photos. I remember the one day you and I rode together. I think it was like 20 miles. This is on obviously we're referring to the Trans Am here last year. Um, you you had you left I think with George and Dan, and you and I pulled over. You had some I adjusted your carburetor. I remember that. And
Yeah,
then I think I rode with you for like 20 some miles, and I got some
yeah.
good video of you riding. And that was like the most prolonged period of time I saw you. And then I ended up leaving, and then next thing you know, you were down and out. But it happens. I know that it could be frustrating. People don't understand the nuances of the early bikes. There can be a
Oh,
really pain in the butt sometimes.
well, and that goes both, the endurance race and doing the track races we're doing, the board track race we're doing. It's no joke keeping these bikes going around. I mean, you got to think about oiling. You got to think about the things. These bikes are 100 years old, and throwing them
Right.
on a track trying to run 70, 80 more, some of these guys, it's not for the weak of heart, or it's not for those that have no pocketbook, because it's expensive. It's an expensive, fun sport.
Yeah, that's for sure. I remember like the first the first two times I went out on my 61, my Hot 61. I went out. I was racing with Mike and Rusty and them guys. It was like the first heat race, and I blew up. I detonated my cam followers, 100-year-old cam followers, and then the second time I blew up again. I think I seized the motor. It's crazy, and it's like first taste of cross country running. I was on a 13 single the very first day. I was like 70 miles into the race, and I thought everything was hunky dory, cruising along, having a great old time at 38 miles per hour, and sees that thing solid, wrap the wrap the rod around the flywheels. I was like, oh man, this is not easy, But like you said, it's one of those things. Like once you start figuring it out and figuring out how to kind of set the motors up where you want them, and oiling and all that stuff, you get a little bit better at it. But it's one of those things, man. You just never know. You just never know if it's going to blow up, or how long it's going to run. I think that's what keeps it kind of fun too. It's just like every time, every lap, every mile, it's all a blessing.
Well, the reality is we're trying to do something that most only read in books and they see
Right.
in museums. These bikes, they're made to do what we did. They're made to do what we're doing, but they were made 100 years ago to do what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think, to me, that's probably one of the most exciting parts of doing what we do. It's not necessarily being on the track. It's being on the track and being in the pits and making sure those bikes keep up and keep going and don't blow up. And to me, that's as exciting as getting out on the track, personally.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. We joke about it all the time, but it's one of those things where I almost have just as much fun as working and building them than I do actually riding them. It's I don't know what it is. It's just something about it. Like to take something that old, put a frame under it, get it running really well, and then go out there and ride it, or have somebody ride it for you, or whatever you're doing. That's to me is almost the best part of the whole thing, and kind of keeping that legacy going on with that particular piece of equipment. Because like you said, these things have been around for 100 years. The guys that originally designed this stuff and created this stuff out of nothing, because they had nothing to reference. That's the other thing you got to kind of put your mindset in, is like, we have like all this modern performance technology now. It's like, oh, if I do this and I port this and do this, like it'll make this faster, which you can do, your little tricks of the trade. Back then, they didn't know anything. Like they were literally like, internal combustion was like a mad new thing. And they were just literally, the technology we use today, we still is very, very similar to what they did, 100 years ago. And that's like, to me, that's what's inspiring about all of this. And that's what I love about it, because they were doing all this stuff 100 years ago. Not only that, but they were figuring out combustion and, specialized combustion chambers for your cylinders with the Ricardos, like you have on your race bike. Ricardo was from overseas, and he was a genius when it came to internal combustion and 8 valves and all this other crazy stuff. But not only were they doing that and creating from nothing, but they were able to race these things for crazy amounts of time. Because like when people come to see our race and they come see you guys all run around the track and all these old bikes, we're running heats, right? Small, 5-6 lap heats. And it's a challenge enough to keep these things running for that amount of time. You're always working on it. You're making adjustments in the pits. They were doing this like 200 milers,
Right.
which is mind blowing. Like I read about board track racing almost every single day of my life. And it's like all of my books and stuff, all my literature that I study, it's like, I just don't understand how they were doing it. They had pits, obviously. They were coming in and changing clinchers out and, oil in the bikes, fuel in the bikes. But they were running these things at 90 to 100 plus miles per hour for hundreds of miles, sometimes on dirt, sometimes on boards. It's just absolutely amazing. And it makes me wish so badly that I could have grew up a couple generations earlier just to be able to be a fly on the wall and see how the heck those guys are doing it,
And the amount of balls these guys had to think about running clinchers. I mean, we talked about tires for that pea shooter, and I think about tires for my board tracker. Clinchers, there's nothing that looks better than a clincher. I mean, it's the best looking tire, but the danger that these guys had of rolling off that rim if you're just a pound too shy of air pressure. And then to think, and I've read about it, I still don't see how it's possible, but to read about some of these singles that are going over 100 miles an hour. I've read it more than once about singles going 100 plus mile an hour. I don't see how it's possible, but to tell me these guys weren't engineers and weren't the best of the best, it's ludicrous. They don't have the tools. They don't have any of the research. They were making the research. They were doing what we're reading about today, firsthand with used parts, stuff that they were pulling off of other people's bikes that were broke down to get going these speeds on tracks were just absolutely impressive to me.
Yeah, it really is, and that's I think that's why I'm so drawn to the old racing more than anything, because it's just like, it's our way of kind of not only continuing it on, but getting a taste of like what they got to experience, because like this is it. This is, you got Sons of Speed, and then you're gonna have the Motordrome here in September, and it's like, other than that, there's not really any other place you can go to watch 100-year-old motorcycles race around a track. It's really a special thing, and I always tell everybody that are even, I don't care if you're into old bikes or not, if you're into motorcycles, you're going to enjoy this,
Absolutely.
There's no way you can't appreciate what it is. So,
I mean,
yeah,
you know what it was like the first time you went to a race with these bikes. I guess it would have been Sons of Speed. That was my first one. I went around with board trackers, and to hear 3 or 4 board trackers come across that start finish line all together, there's nothing like it. I mean, I tell people, I reference it to Indy 500 all the time. Hearing these cars coming past the start finish line at 220 miles an hour, yeah, that is impressive. But also to hear 3 or 4 board trackers coming across start finish line at maybe 70, 60, 80 miles an hour, that feels like 500 miles an hour to me when I'm sitting there listening to it. And I know the riders, I know for me, when I'm riding my board tracker, it feels like I'm going 500 miles an hour, whether I'm going 50 or 40, it still feels like I'm just out there living the dream and racing with the greatest.
Yeah. Because I mean, essentially, dude, you're strapped onto a bicycle chassis, right? I mean, you got a single down tube frame, you got a couple plates there, you got 2 tires, no transmission, no brakes,
no suspension,
no suspension,
front, rear, nothing. It is all there. You hold on, you twist the throttle, and you go. That's and there's nothing like it. There's really nothing like it to experience and to watch.
Yeah, it's true. It's very addicting. Like even watching it, like you said, is amazing. Hearing the bikes go, all that good stuff. It's a lot of fun. But so what's your plans when you come up? Are you coming up a little early? Are you gonna come up pretty much just the day before? Because you got a long drive, right? You're coming all the way up from Florida. So
Yeah, we're down in Florida. I don't know. I think it's quite a haul. I plan on coming up as early as I can. I think you guys are opening up the track. I don't remember when I read, but we'll be there when you guys open the track.
yeah,
I want to get as much time on the track. From me, the best thing for me is to get on the track, feel the track, get the lines of the track, just feel it. They're all different. Every track I've been on has been absolutely incredibly different, from Wasion to Davenport to Tennessee to Florida. Every one of them are absolutely different. Yes, you think it's an oval track, but an oval track is not an oval track. They're all different. They all have different lines. They all have different pitches of the grade. Everything's different. So I'm going to get up there. I'm going to put as much time on the track as I can. I do believe I read somewhere where you guys are opening up the shop so that we can tune, and that way if something happens, I can fix what's broke, and hopefully maybe get some pointers from some of you guys. Hey, you need to try this kind of setup. You need to do this or that. And I'm all about listening and trying and implementing it and going.
yeah. We're gonna I'm gonna open up the shop for all of our racers. Anybody that needs any serious equipment or anything, you guys are more than welcome to come over here to CompD. And obviously hang out, whatever, all that good stuff. But so the track itself, we have for all day Thursday, and we're gonna have in 2 time blocks. So you're gonna have like a morning practice and then an evening practice, 2 time slots, and that way it'll help you guys get dialed in as much as you can. Or I should say, did I say Thursday? I meant Friday. There's a race this Saturday, so it'd be Friday. Would be the open block, yeah. So and then Saturday's race day, and I think we're gonna for Saturday, you're pretty much gonna want to have your bike dialed in and ready to go Friday night. Like so, test and tune all day Friday. Make sure you're dialed in, and then the other thing too is if you do come up here early, which I forgot to tell this to Erik when I had the podcast last week. But anybody that's watching this and information wise, we live. You've been to my house, so you understand. But my shop, we're in the middle of nowhere. So what I usually do for like tuning and testing my bikes is like if you don't have a track or whatever, so if you say you come up a day or two earlier, Tuesday or Wednesday or something, you come over here, we can do hits down the road. Like I run up and down the road all the time, just to make sure, see where your throttles break and make sure the bike's running, pulling like you want it to. Obviously, your gearing is going to have to be safe for the track, but you'll be able to figure everything else out with the bike. So that definitely will help.
And then, I mean, obviously my intention is to go to the ice cream shop up the way. You can't go racing. You can't go visit Sean without some ice cream.
Oh, you're talking about we took you to, oh my gosh, the drive in there. Why can't Kelsey, you got to help me here. Why can't I think of the name of it?
I can't remember. Did we go to Valley Phrase?
No, we took him to the root beer shop.
Yeah.
Turkey.
White turkey. Jesus,
White turkey. That's what it was. And
yeah.
That was the best thing. I mean, we're definitely got to do some ice cream when we're
white turkey is the best.
Yeah, white turkey. You can't go wrong with white turkey. It's the best.
Vintage motorcycles and ice cream, they kind of just go hand in hand, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, you don't gotta tell me. Kelsey and I, our main ride is to get ice cream. That's usually where we go. So
I have to actually take gearing on my bike to get the ice cream because I have to gear down so I can get home. So I understand.
Yeah, you gotta incorporate that extra weight. I don't know, dude. I just read something where they said ice cream was good for you. Harvard
Well,
about it.
I think
ice
so.
cream is actually better for you than original. I'm gonna stick with it.
I 100% agree with that.
But so we're really looking forward to all this, man. I appreciate all the support and stuff from the behind the scenes from you as well. You've always been a big supporter of ours, and just the amount of effort and finances and everything else that this whole thing takes. It's a huge undertaking, and a lot of people might not understand. But you've always been a very big backer and supporter of ours. So I always wanted, I just want to say thanks for all that, and everything you do on your end too.
Well, I just appreciate I appreciate you guys. I appreciate Comp D because this is a passion of mine. It's something I love, and I'm going to support someone that's going to allow me to do what I love to do. Sons of Speed, I love doing what I do. I support Billy. I support anybody that's going to put something together. People think maybe it's competition. It's not competition. The competition's on the track. If you're going to give us opportunities to go out and run something, that's what we're going to do, because we're all passionate, kind of, I guess you would say, obsessed with our addictions. And it just allows us different venues. Like there's people up by you guys that I know that I've invited to the track that Florida's just way too far. Like Wisconsin. My family, like a lot of my race family's up in Wisconsin. But there's other people up there that they can't drive to Florida and spend that time to drive to Florida. They can come to Erie. So it's just a different animal. I do expect to see some people that I didn't see in Florida come up to Erie. Just like I see a lot of people in Florida that probably won't make the journey up to Erie. But I just thank you for putting this on and doing the legwork, and Kelsey for putting in the communication. And we're very excited about this event.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. We have a really good response already. I think, we've talked about this before, but locally, I think we're going to have a really good turnout as far as crowd wise, because like you just said, you hit the topic right on the head. It's a lot of people up here don't have the means to necessarily leave for a week and drive all the way to Florida and watch, SOS, so this gives them the opportunity to kind of see what we've been doing for the last, 5 years, what you've been doing, and give other people a chance to kind of see what we got going on. And I think it's just going to do nothing but help, grow the overall scope of these kind of events, So if anything, getting access to more people and showing other people around the country what we're doing, I think it's just going to help keep growing the sport. And that's what we want to do. We want to have, more people involved in it, get the younger guys involved in it. We already have a bunch of younger guys in the SOS. It seems like there's more and more coming. But one thing, and I talked about this with Erik too on the last podcast, was we definitely want to try to get more board track style format bikes as well, because it's like the event has a tendency to kind of really sway to the 45s. And don't get me wrong, I love 45s. They're amazing bikes. Watching them race, they're insane. They're the fastest bikes out there by far. But the history and everything we just talked about with the old style racing, that's, if we could keep growing that and get more and more people on a board track style bike, whether it be a single, a 61, hot 61, that's the ultimate goal for us. So,
I think you're right on the point there. I talk about the expense of these bikes, and while they are expensive, it is an expensive hobby. It's still very obtainable. And it really does. I never in a million years would have been able to afford to get into the hobby if I didn't start on a 45, because then I met the right people and they realized, it's a family. We're a family. The people that do this, that's into vintage motorcycles, no matter where I go, what AMAC I go to, it's a family. And then when they realize that you're not just going to go, you're not wanting to buy something or obtain something just to flip it, or then you start getting into the stuff. So that's one thing I tell people all the time. They're like, well, I don't have anything. Well, that's how you get into it. You make those relationships. You allow them to realize that you're passionate about it. You're not just out here to make a quick buck to flip something. You're out here to actually collect it and enjoy it and ride it. And then at that point, the doors start to open up and you do start to get things that most people wouldn't get to see and buy. And that's what happens when that's why I invite some of my young friends to these events, because it gives them an opportunity to come out and do what I love and be part of the people that I love and experience this amazing sport.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And yeah, it's going to be really fun to see, how much more we can add to it as far as getting more people involved in it over the next, however many years we're doing this kind of stuff. But, if we can just, any addition helps. And, people reach out all the time about, trying to get involved in this old stuff. Cause it's like when you first see this, and if you have any inkling right now, like say you're on the sidelines, watching this and you're saying, hey, I might want to do that someday. You're a perfect example. I'm a perfect example. It is obtainable. You don't have to be some special kind of anything. You just have to know the right people, get involved in it, show interest in it. And a lot of guys, they'll help you out just because, like what you just said, they just want to see the younger guys or the next people, take over and keep it going. Because, Erik hit it right on the nail on the head last episode was, we're just caretakers, none of us will ever take these with us, so eventually this will all be passed down to the next guy anyway. So
I obtained my first J motor. I went to a race and I traded a 1917 Triumph for a blown up 17T. I still have that motor and it's still blown up. But that's what kind of sparked my love for it. And I got that T and I looked at that every day for a year. And then I started to put things together and make it happen. So we are just caretakers of it. And some of us are better caretakers than others. I do see some of these bikes, they show up to the track and it scares me for the rider. And that's just getting them off the trailer. That's not even going to the track. But then they start to love on them, and it's really cool to see how these machines come together. I mean, there's not a lot of places for us to run these things, and then they get out on the track, they start loving on them, and these machines that I think are not reliable or not going to make it to even get started, they're winning races, and that's pretty encouraging for me.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. It's like a bunch of old tractors, pretty much in a rudimentary sense, but you just never know if it's actually going to go or not.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the ones that you think are going to win, they blow up. It's how this world works.
Yeah, pretty much every guy has blown up at some point, except Mike, I think. Just about.
Michael Lang is the one racer that I race beside that without a doubt, I know that he's going to start, and unless it's something absolutely ridiculously stupid that happens, he's going to finish and probably going to come in either first or second.
Yeah, it's almost, if you're a betting man, it's really safe to put your money on Mike, that's for sure.
In fact, the only time I've won on my board tracker was against Mike Lang, and that's because he let me win. That's the bottom line. I was coming out of turn 4, and I just waiting at any point for him to come past me, just fly by me like he always does. And he does that because he's a little turd like that. And he flies by you. Then around turn 2, or turn 1, he lets off of it, lets you catches him. He plays this little cat and mouse game like he does. And then all of a sudden you're turning turn 2. And he's already turning around turn 4, and he waits for you. But he did. He let off of it, and he let me win. So that's the only time I've won on my board tracker. But I can say I did beat Mike Lang, even though he let me win on my board tracker.
That's a pretty big feat, dude. There's not very many people who can say that. Mike's been racing forever, literally forever. It's insane.
I think 47, 48 years is how long.
Yeah,
I see pictures when I've been to his house. I mean, he's got pictures of him back in his 40s, and the bike that he has in his den, he took off in his 20s, and he didn't think it was going to start, and he started, and he sideswiped a car, and this was an FHAC, so it's not a cheat. This is a legit, piece of history, and I'm excited that he's part of it in September.
Yeah, me too. It's one of those things where there's just certain guys that if they're not there, it's just not the same. Obviously, Mike's one of those guys. eBay's one of those guys. You're one of those guys. There's a lot of them. It's just like you said, it's a family. We're really looking forward. We have a really good show up of racers already. I think there's still some guys that are coming that haven't officially signed up yet, but we have a really good field already. We're over. I'm pretty sure we're over 30 bikes at this point. We're estimating probably closer to 40.
Wow.
So it'll be a really good turnout. We're working on trying to get some of our buddies down from New York, the hills up there from the Fourth Coast Boards. We're getting some 4-cylinder inline board trackers coming down, trying to start like a little 4-cylinder class.
I've never seen a full race. That would be so exciting.
Yeah, so not many people have. So in all my board track, in all my literature and my books and everything I read about racing, there's some accounts of the 4-cylinders running. They were never factory supported like Harley, Indian, Pope, Excelsior, those guys. But there was a privateer racer that actually entered on a Henderson 4-cylinder, and he went out and raced one of the. It was a long race. It was like a 200-some miler race on the boards, and stripped down, nothing to the bike, just plain as you can make it, no, nothing fancy, no frills, just like a board tracker. And he went out there and ran, and he was not the fastest. Harley and Indian were smoking him on speed, but I think he ended up winning. And I have to read the story again. I actually posted some pictures of it on the comp page. This was a while ago now that I did that, but he ended up, I think, either winning or coming in a very high place because he was the only one that never broke down. He stayed consistent at it was something crazy, like 74 miles per hour on this bike, and he just stayed on it. He never had a mechanical issue or anything like that.
That's a feat in itself.
Yeah, because you got to think too. The 4-cylinders, talking about bikes of that age, that period, they're not light. It's the heavier bike of that era.
Sure.
And he's out there ripping around on this thing. So it'd be really cool. Obviously, I don't know how many other races. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that's never been documented, we'll never know about. But it'd be really, really cool to see those 4-cylinders out there on the track running. Have their own class. And people don't understand the specialty of a 4-cylinder. It's something, not board trackers as well. You don't see board trackers ever, but 4-cylinders are like super, super rare. They're very high, very expensive motorcycles. There's nothing cheap about a 4. The motor's not cheap. The chassis aren't cheap. Nothing. I mean, you're talking about 6-figure bikes at a minimum. And if we could get a few of those things out there running on a track, it'd be really cool. And I think people really enjoy seeing it. So
that's exciting.
Yeah. So we're working on that. I think we got him talked into it. We'll hope so. And but other than that, it's all coming together. We got Kelsey's been working with our local stuff. We got some more stuff we're doing we're going to do some interviews with the news, get as many locals as we can. There's a lot of bike events throughout the summer up here. We're going to be out handing out event flyers and stuff like that, the old school ground and pound method, because not everybody's on social media. So
sure. And we haven't even hit. I mean, we just started getting into swap season. Some of these old guys don't even do social media. So once the word gets out there, some of these other events, you're going to start getting more racers for sure.
Yeah. It's still super early. We're pushing, the races until the end of September. So we got a while yet. But like I said, I feel really good with where we're at, how everybody's kind of getting excited about it already. So I think it's going to be a good time.
So remind me, how big is the track?
Track is 3/8 mile.
3/8 mile. And what did you say the slope of the track was?
It's compound baking. So the way the guy explained it to me was like the top of the track is like 13 degrees. And then as it comes down, it graduates out. And then the straights are 6 degrees. So the straights have a 6-degree bank, 13 on the corners, but it's compound. So it actually tapers as it goes. What's that?
That's insane, actually. That's going to be really fun to be out there on that.
Yeah, it's a super nice track. So I've known about the track for a long time. When we first started talking about this and talking about what we're doing, blah blah blah. these guys have always been there. The closest thing to Florida that we have, especially locally here, it's very, very similar. The guy that actually runs the track knows all about New Smyrna. And he knew all the stats and everything. So the outside, if you take the outside wall, like if you took the high lane all the way across the track, like if you rubbing elbows all the way through the turns and the straights, he said that's a half mile. But he said the center of the track where they measure, it's actually 3/8 mile.
Wow.
Which New Smyrna is half mile. So it's a little bit shorter. You can tell it's a little bit shorter, but it's very, very similar. The center of the track's nice and open. And what they do is they have a ton of drifting events there and monster truck events and stuff like that. So they always have the center open, and then they can configure it however we want it. So like we told them how we want the pits, and we're going to kind of keep it similar to what we're used to, because our thoughts are let's keep it what the guys are used to, so it's on a whole new learning curve for everybody every time we try to go out and launch this thing.
So from your experience, knowing how Smyrna is, you kind of take the going into the turns high and duck down into it, and that's how a lot of us do. Did you walk the track? What's your opinion on how that track's going to run?
It's going to be interesting. So definitely, just from what I'm kind of predicting right now, you're going to want to gear shorter, not too much shorter. It's nowhere near like Tennessee. Tennessee's super, super short, super fast, short track. This is going to be a fast track. Like I can tell it's going to be fast. You're going to gear it up a little bit so that you're going to want more throttle, put in a shorter span. The turns, it's going to be interesting because it's got nice banking. It's just a slight less than Florida. So your same thing. You're gonna go in high, drop down to your mid, your line for your good line. But it'll be interesting when you start packing up, because you're not gonna have a lot of options. It's a NASCAR track, so it's set up the same. It's a NASCAR sanctioned track. It'll be interesting. We're gonna go out and do some runs on it here later this summer, and get some more promo stuff for the event to promote what we're doing and stuff. But I'll take a couple of bikes with me when we do that, and I'm gonna go out and try a couple hits on it just to see where we're at and kind of feel it out. But we walked the whole thing. Kelsey and I went and checked the whole thing out. The super cool thing is it's a really nice location. It's out right off the main highway. It's like literally you get off the exit and you're right there.
Are you expecting to see the top speeds of Jake out there, Mike Lang? What is your gut telling you it's going to be on a 3/8 track?
It's going to be interesting, man, because I've seen those guys running on the dirt. I mean, they're hauling the mail on the dirt. So
I know.
Realistically, there's no reason you're not going to see 75, 80 mile an hour.
That's what my gut tells me. Yeah.
Because
how big is that track? That's a little shy of 3/8, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely shorter than this one is. I'm trying to think. I don't know how fast they're running down there. I really don't. I've ran that track a few times. I never actually got to race. I always did heat laps on that track because the last time we were down to race, Tom got in his real bad accident. So,
but I've seen eBay and Mike Lang and Luke. Luke is a fast son of a gun too. I've seen both of those go into turn one, just hitting it hard, and that's on that clay. And
it's going to be fast.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's going to be real fast because, like I said, those guys, just because it's a shorter track doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be slow or slower. It's just a matter of it's the biggest thing with this track is going to be gearing. Just like anything, everybody's so used to Florida. Everybody has their bikes kind of like, oh, I know where I need to be. It's been raced there since the beginning. So this is going to be, a little bit smaller than that. Not much, not a lot. Because like when you guys get there and you see the track, you're going to be like, oh man, this is a lot like Florida. But you're just going to have to handle the banking differently. Like you said, every track's different. So it'll be interesting to see how it feels for sure. I mean, I know I'm excited to get out and get a couple laps on it and just kind of feel what the bike's going to do.
I just got to govern mine at 150. I don't want to go over 150 on that pea shooter. I want to keep it down so that
you don't want.
I don't want
to make us look bad either.
I got to get those pictures right. Those pictures have to come out right. So I got to keep it down.
Dude, they're not going to see your. They're not going to see your pretty face at 150. Like you're going to have to get that way down.
Way down. Yeah. But no,
awesome.
I really am. I'm excited about the whole event. I'm excited about the summer. I think it's going to be a good summer, a good swap summer for everybody. I think there's a lot. The market's weird. It's fun right now. And so who knows? Who's going to pick up a bike this summer and just bring it to the track and race it for the first time? Who knows?
Yeah, you never know. It'll be interesting for sure.
They're out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're out there, and that's the thing. Like there's for anybody that's listening and wants to get into board track, there's tons and tons of JD stuff out there too. So reach out to any of us, anybody that's in part of this event, any of the racers. If you have any questions or anything like that, reach out to one of these guys. They will help you out for sure. Get into board track stuff, and even if you just start getting parts now, it's something financially you can work your way into. Start collecting. We've all done it. I've building a bike right now that I've literally been collecting parts for over almost 3 years now. It's just one of those things. It's a time game. Not everybody here is loaded enough to go buy bikes and do all that stuff. So it is attainable. Nathan, if somebody wants to get a hold of you or your social media or anything like that, this is your chance. Let's plug your social media. If they want to follow you, they want to watch you race. They like you. They think you got a pretty face. They heard you can go 150 miles an hour. Where do you got to go to do that?
Well, go to my my Instagram is Old So Custom, and it's got that little bitty dash thing underneath. The old, I don't know. I don't understand this stuff that well, but
underscore.
That little dash, stole that little dash and custom. Or go to your page, look for the best looking guy on your page, and just click follow, and that's me. And I'm out there. I'm following all your stuff, and you'll see Board Tracker bikes and follow them, because eventually it's going to lead to me, and we're all just big one happy family.
That's true. It's a good group of guys and gals. We obviously have girls around with us too, which is awesome. Hopefully we can drum up more as we keep doing this. But it's one of those things where everybody's very close. Everybody helps each other out, and everybody's in it for the right reason. So that's what it's all about. But right. Hey, I wanted to tell you, man, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us. We're really looking forward to seeing you again. It's been a long time since I've seen you. I think it was a race, right? The Trans Am's the last time I saw you. So I'm going to see you this week, right?
I will see you in a couple of days. We're going to go support Tennessee, and we're just going to probably find a way with our knuckles on to find ice cream somewhere. You and Tom's got to ride with us to get ice cream somewhere. And then
I'll find ice cream.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll find it. Yeah, because I talked to I just talked to Barry Wardlaw today. Barry's a great dude. He's one of my favorites. He's actually going to be coming out too. He's leaving tomorrow. Tom and I are leaving tomorrow morning. We're going to come down we're bringing the flathead and the knucklehead. We'll be riding around with you guys on there. So we're looking forward to it. Gas shop for a couple of days. So
I know Erik and Jenny Bass are down there riding their knuckles through the Nacho Trail right now, and they brought a 42 for me. So we're gonna be just cutting through the mountains, enjoying some racing and riding. I look forward to everybody that wants to join, and hope to join someone else's trips along the way.
Heck yeah, man! Awesome. All right. Well, hey, thanks again. We'll see you soon, and we can't wait for racing, man.
Let's do it. Let's burn some rubber.
All right. See you, buddy.
Thanks,
all right. Bye, guys. See ya.
Bye.